Hello. Good afternoon. Today's August 1st. Exciting.
And people keep telling me that, but I keep
I know.
swearing
I can't believe it. I've seen all over
July.
Facebook like, wait, July's over.
I know.
That's crazy. We're in the second half, beyond the second half of the year. And yeah, this is like gone really fast. They say as you get older, it goes by faster. Does that mean I'm older?
Yeah, it must be because it is going really fast. That means if you're in the city of Gainesville, you only have 22 days until the mayoral election and the other district seats that are open. So,
yeah, Rebecca will keep us updated on the politics, local politics. So follow along.
Right out the gate.
What's going on.
Let's talk about politics.
Don't worry, we don't have lots of politics today. It is the 94th episode, which means our 100th episode is coming up. That'll be September 12th, so hopefully y'all will be here to see what we have to bring you. Have a little party, big party. We'll have something exciting, don't you worry. All right, well, Kristen Rabell,
Rebecca Johnson.
Oh, football season and Halloween parties. We have
That's
some.
right.
Remember last year we did, oh my gosh, we dressed up almost every day for Halloween.
That was too much.
We're going to change that again, but we do have some fun times, so you will see us dressed up probably on at least one of these shows, if not all shows.
In the office, Baby Stetson was getting in the mood. He was dressed as Freddy Krueger today.
Little baby Freddy Krueger. Yeah, get some nightmares on that.
His mom is obsessed with Halloween, so
yes.
But I think it's funny that it wasn't intentional.
Nope, she just did. But, she saw that Halloween was already out for sale. So she's getting ready. You start getting ready in August. You know?
And I guess the Gators or something start playing in like the next month or two. Yeah. So I know all the guys are excited.
And school starts. Woo! I know all the mamas are exhausted by summer. So lots of us are excited. I mean, I enjoy summer. I'm not going to lie. I enjoy Mason being around, but it'd be so much nicer to be back on schedule.
Routines are important.
Yes. And remember, this week is still the tax-free holiday for school supplies. So we gave you that list last week, but there's lots of supplies on there that you probably don't even realize, including clothes. So what a great week, tax-free.
But not toddler clothes, just
not
for toddler
clothes, right?
With young children.
Kindergarten to 18. So yes. All right. Well, let's get on to our Monday market moment, which we don't have. Right, that's true. We don't have the last 2 months. We just have, unless she did the last 2 months. We'll see. Let's see what Tab gave us. Yep, it's a surprise.
All right, let's take a look at what's happening in North Central Florida. So this is June versus July.
Good job, Tabitha.
Good job, Tabitha. All right, so we will start in, I guess, St. Augustine. Start at the top. Can't wait for it. I'm also looking forward to January.
We're not going to get cooler weather very often. Like once in October, 3 times in November, maybe 5 times in December, and then it'll be cold.
Yeah, January, February, March are the cold months in Florida. And not even this past time it was not. Whoops, sorry, my voice is still cracking.
Yeah.
All right, so starting in St. Augustine, June versus July. So in June, St. Augustine area, beaches area, sorry, there's like something flying around, closed 38 properties versus July there were 40.
So just a little more, which is again funny because June is usually the biggest month.
And they still had 28 pending. So you're probably going to be on track for probably another 30 to 40 for August. So, which is interesting. But again, that's just the beaches area of that St. Augustine strip.
Active 124. So
Anastasia Island. Yep.
A lot more than we were seeing.
Looking over here at the Gainesville area, you've got June 346 and July 260. I'm a big believer that July is always slower in Gainesville than June is.
I mean, real estate is local, so these areas in St. Augustine Beach are really more, people buying their second homes. A lot of them are. It's a vacation area, whereas Gainesville, college town. So yeah. July,
so
it's always going to be a lot
typically
slower.
July they have their properties. I think you'll see a little pop in August, and then it's real slow typically in September for closings. But people are still out there looking, and who knows? The market's so squirrely; it could be totally different.
But the numbers aren't terribly different.
No, they're not.
346, 260.
People.
Right. I mean, if you look down, where are you going next?
So I was going to go down to Ocala.
Okay.
So looking at June, so you've got June had 643 closings versus July 497. I'm just so impressed, and I know I sing Ocala's praises, but I really think they're on the right track from when I moved to Gainesville, and it was just this little.
I mean, when that
dot.
the WEC, the World Equestrian Center, was built, that's really brought in a lot of people. And I think when we talk about that, 900 to 1,000 people moving to Florida every year or every day this past year or two, I think a lot of them are choosing this area.
I mean, I think Ocala's awesome. You're like kind of in the middle of Florida. You can go East Coast, West Coast. There's a lot of popular lakes
and rivers, rainbow rivers nearby. You got a lot of great waterways around the area of Ocala, Marion County,
and it's beautiful. And what I really like about Ocala, Marion County is they seem pro business and pro growth. So
and their taxes are way lower than Gainesville.
I just have a lot of respect for the Ocala area for really transforming.
Remember
over the
when
last,
we used to call it slow Ocala? We couldn't handle it. Oh, it was so slow.
Yes, they did move really slow. That's just that we took a class there and we stood in Publix line for like 60 minutes waiting for a sandwich, and we were just like, screw it, grab something else.
The thing is that it was slow because they were talking and they were, connected and friendly, right? And here we were from the big city of Gainesville, let's get going, we got to go. So.
But I just am really impressed with the growth that they've had. So strong numbers in Ocala, sorry, Ocala, and Ocala. So anyways, back over to Tampa, back on target here. All right, so June in the Tampa Hillsborough area, you had 1,061 closings in June versus July, you had 907. I'd
say that's comparable to Gainesville in terms of like how many closed versus, 1 month to the other.
But the map is still showing active, pending, and closed, all still very close.
Very
really
close,
in every market except for active in St. Augustine, and we were just.
But that's
talking
a year.
About
that's
this.
A full year, right?
Oh yeah, for the year,
right?
But we were just talking how it seems like 5 a day are coming on in that area.
I get updates from that MLS of what is new on the market because we've got some people who are moving in there. Plus, I just like to see what's going on in that beach area. And not only is it like 5 a day, but all of them are in like the 1 million to 3. One came on 6 million the other day. So 1 to 6 million all along A1A, along the beach area. So, whether it's beachside or what is that, Bayside, you're getting a ton of listings in that price range coming on the market right now. And maybe that people are saying, oh, wow, there's a lot of money here. I'm going to, go ahead and sell my property because it's priced so high. But I think when you're putting that many at that price range out, you're going to take a lot longer to sell right now when it's slowed down. So we'll see. It's just something I was noticing.
But that's a look at what's happening in the markets in our area.
All right, great. Keeping up with the market. And I love it when we can see the month to month. So, all right. Well, let's get into the topics for today. First of all, we were actually going to show the United Way. Oh, yeah. Let's go back to that. So look at me there, United Way of North Central Florida. I have joined the board, and the board is consists of a lot more than these people. There's Scott Schroeder. He has just joined with me of Liquid Creative. Amber Miller is the president CEO. And then we've got Chris Floyd, who's also on the board. And then Dr. Sean Benoit of North Florida Hospital, who it's very hard for me not to say, North Central
Regional
Medical Center, but they did change to North Florida Hospital. So he works there. He's head of surgery, I believe. Sorry, Dr. B. I just met you, but he's really well known, and he's also a new member. So we are the 3 new members, and we're ready to start empowering people and helping this community. So impacting the community. So excited to be a part of this board with these wonderful people and the others that are already there. So. Yay me.
Yay. All right. So, yay.
Thanks,
there we go too. All right. So, whimsical wallpaper. Is it in or is it out?
Well, we've talked about this a little bit in the past year or two. It's come back, but it's come back with a vengeance. Now, has it come back in Gainesville where we primarily work? I'm not so sure. I don't see it, but we're not seeing it in the sales, the resales. But I think with a lot of people staying in and not selling and renovating, they're renovating with, and it's not just regular wallpaper. I mean, this is a Gucci one, This is like big time. There's super whimsical because there's lions on the wall.
Yeah, I do see wallpaper in homes. Usually it's an accent wall, and usually what I find is it's more geometrical, or colorful. I haven't seen anything like this.
I haven't either. But this is all over where we're seeing, and this was just one of many articles actually we've come across.
This is, I mean, for me, this would be a hard pass. It's too dark and heavy.
Yeah.
I'm more like tropical and
this was like a library. I could see it in a library on one wall. You know, you could see the books there. So
I feel like I need to know how to
and these are all staged for
distinguish
photos,
port from like Cabernet. I don't know, whatever kind of wine.
Well, the next photo is Christian LaCroix, and
this
he
looks
has
like Tim
one.
Burton's nightmare.
Yeah, right. I mean, but look, I mean, a pink couch, and then the sort of geometrical, floor. And so again, are we going to see this locally? Maybe in certain, very few houses, I think. But I think you're going to see this more in Tampa. Truthfully, the bigger cities.
Yeah,
Tampa, Miami, maybe a little bit of Jacksonville, Orlando.
The next one looks like it might be more like Jacksonville, St. Augustine.
Yeah, so firm living.
Looks tropical-ish.
I mean, I remember when we got into real estate and there was the builder with his wife, Wild.
Yeah.
And his wife, I don't know her first name, but Miss Wild, she had really fun, whimsical wallpaper like this. And it was usually saved for like the bathroom.
Yeah, they do it like a half bath or whatever.
The right one, well, I'm looking at it right side. So yes, if you're on your computer, you're probably seeing the right one with all the animals. This reminds me of her. And she put these in a lot of her bathrooms. There were people who did not like it, but it actually, whimsical is the perfect word. So I guess we're going back to
everything comes back in style.
Right?
Please don't bring back
now the
Tuscan
90s. All right, the 90s and late 80s had a lot of flowery wallpaper, and I think if you're
borders,
yes, oh gosh, borders were that was 80s borders. My mom did that a lot. Now, one thing that they're saying why wallpaper's coming back is because it's a lot easier to put up than it was before, and a lot easier to remove. So before, when you had to wet the back with the glue. They're not doing that anymore.
Is it like contact paper now?
Yes, exactly. Kind of like our wallpaper at the office. It's now contact paper.
That's a map. We do not have wallpaper.
Yes, but it is a map wallpaper. It's pretty cool. Everybody loves it. We'll have to show another picture sometime soon.
Yes.
But these are some. So, I'd love to know, would you put up whimsical wallpaper like any of these? Pick your number or say yes or no. Let us know if you would be, someone who would pick wallpaper like this, and where would you put it? So I think those are some of the photos. I mean, it's whimsical. It's crazy. I get it. Like if you're in an office and you have something, decorated like this, but I don't know.
None of these are my style, but I can appreciate.
I don't mind the animals. I think that's kind of cute.
If I had to choose.
And I've seen a lot in kids' rooms. But they're more like, pastels or kid colors, and people are using it. Again, I think it's more like contact paper. And we just had a friend the other day ask if we've used contact paper. Now, we've had it for like images. Mason's really into Star Wars, so we'll have,
they had the fat
Yoda
heads and all that
right.
stuff.
It's kind of like fat heads. They weren't, but kind of like that. So I think that's what's happening. Yep. Sky, what's your yep to?
Commit.
Yes, yep to wallpaper in general, or which one?
So I guess if we're calling it contact paper, I guess I'm guilty of using it on risers.
There you go.
Going upstairs, which I think is fun.
Yeah.
To give it a different look, not old school wiper, but yes.
Yeah.
Stickers.
Well, it's kind of the same concept now.
They're tricking us, Susan. They're tricking us.
But it's making wallpaper a lot easier. Then you just rip that contact paper down, aka wallpaper, and it's gone.
That's true.
So it's a lot easier. We're redoing, a seller of mine's repainting, and there was the sticky backsplash. Still no for you. Well, there you go. You don't care about the name brand too. You're like Ralph Lauren.
You know what
still
she's
no.
doing? I think she's a sponge painter. She's bringing back the sponge painting murals.
Is that what you're doing too? Well, they're doing like the contact paper, stickers on backsplash. So we had to rip these off, and behind it was like 1970s wallpaper. And trying to rip that off was impossible.
It's taking the drywall off,
right,
probably.
Exactly. So
just paint over it.
Yeah, well, that's what they're going to do. But, this contact paper, way easier. So there we go, making it easier for the homeowners for
They're onto something. So this is actually
whimsical
really big in
windows.
rentals.
yeah.
They, as a way to stylize your apartment to you, they're telling people that they can use contact or temporary wallpaper to be decorative. So I could see that.
And again, I think this comes from that same idea and area of that backsplash that has like sticker forms, whether it's like little pieces or large pieces. And so you're not, I don't know. People don't like commitment anymore. I think it's I don't want commitment. I want to be able to upgrade really fast. I mean, you don't like committing to a house. You love selling
And
every
moving
few
around.
years and moving around. It's a nomadic life. And nomadic life, you don't
just
want
like
to
to
put
design different
a lot
houses.
of effort. Right. I mean, I was raised by a mom who was like a frustrated designer. And she was redesigning all the time. And that was a lot of work and effort. So now if you have, these less work, minimal effort design, abilities, then you can do this more often.
I call it,
and not
I don't
be
get
frustrated.
romantic about a house. I love what's in the house, the people.
So
I
I
don't
think
need to
this
love
is a
the
great
house.
idea of somebody who's not romantic about a house, but still wants it to look good. And
a house is an investment. If somebody offers me the right money, I'm going to move. I don't care. I'll buy the boxes and start taping them up.
Right on. Well, let's take a break, and we'll come back. We got a couple other topics we'll talk about, and enjoy our little middle video. Thank you. Hale Plantation is Gainesville's largest mixed-use planned community with more than 2,700 custom homes, townhomes, apartments, and condominiums on more than 1,700 acres. Hale boasts more than 50 neighborhoods to choose from in the community. There's a home for every budget and lifestyle. Hale Plantation comprises of nearly 13 miles of roads and walking trails, the Village Center, Public Market Center, shopping, dining, healthcare facilities, and more. The Hale Plantation Golf and Country Club features an 18-hole Gary Player golf course, a state-of-the-art tennis court, pools, recreation center, as well as venues for weddings and events. The Saturday Farmers Market brings live music, local produce, and handmade goods. Depending on your location in Hale, the community is zoned for A-rated Wiles and Childs Elementary Schools, Kanapa Hall Middle School, and Buchholz High School. Please visit buysellrebell.com to search for your new home in Hale. All right, we're back. Thank you for sticking with us or joining us now. Like I said, we have a couple other topics. Real estate, home ownership style. So here's
We're into
one.
debating today.
Yeah, we are.
First the wallpaper, now the trees.
So Florida Realtors always has a slide like this that it's a shareable, they call it. And it's information taken from different places. This one's taken from allaboutgardening.com. And there was a study or maybe numbers that were created saying that trees can add to a home's value and maybe as much as 15%. So we're going to talk about, and in this case, I think it's always Florida friendly trees. If it's not Florida friendly, it's just not going to deal with our really crazy.
Our bipolar weather.
Right. Our bipolar weather, which most of the time is hot and humid. At least during the summer, you get a lot of rain. Like all of my plants are just going crazy outside right now. But it is really hot as well. So there are certain trees that cannot handle it. So let's go through this. All right. Banana.
Love it.
Banana. Okay, here's the thing. I grew up in a Cuban family, okay? We tried to, our neighbors in the neighborhood, my family, put up a banana tree. They don't really last long during our freakish winters. So South Florida, Central Florida, I think definitely banana. Gainesville,
Well, not always
I
in
don't think
Gainesville,
so
but
much. I don't. Now, it would always come back, but when it dies, and you don't get a lot of bananas up in Gainesville.
I
Very
just like the
few
way
of
they
them
look.
produce. I just love the word banana.
I bet you do.
It's just a funny word. I think they're beautiful, but if you want bananas, that's going to be hard in Gainesville. But I definitely
like the way they look aesthetically.
Yeah, I think they're great. Except when they start dying and you try to rip them off and it's all greasy.
I'm a plant
and gritty.
person. I'm like, those things, I like the yard to look like Disney, like clean.
So slash
fresh.
pine, I honestly don't know a lot of slash pines. I don't know who has them. I don't recognize slash pines when I see them. So it's not really.
I think true or false, Florida Realtors left off one of the most gorgeous
Well, let's
trees.
get back to it. Let's get back to it. So citrus. So I 100% think,
Yes.
because a lot of times when we're listing houses and they have citrus trees,
People love
even
it.
banana, you want to list off all of them.
We sold a house where they ripped out all of the actual yard landscaping and had citrus trees and gardens. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even know if this thing's going to sell. And there were people fighting over it.
Was that Mentone?
No, that was not Mentone. That was Emerald Woods.
Emerald Woods. Oh, okay. So
One of the
recent.
Emerald
So
Woods.
yes, I mean Mentone. We always call it Mentone because of somebody. It's hilarious. Now you'll never say it any other way than Mentone. Citrus trees in Mentone. There was a house, and she had a lot of them. Also, we had someone, a friend of ours, Carly. He ripped out all of ours, but we had to disclose that before. You're not getting any of these trees. So I think along with citrus, any fruit-bearing tree. So right now I'm seeing a lot of avocado. I don't know how well they do, but the leaves are really pretty. If you can produce avocado fruit and it doesn't freeze over, yes, okay, there we go. Like exactly, C2. I agree with you. It just doesn't live well like it did in South Florida and Fort Lauderdale. And I believe with avocado
But thankfully,
also.
climate change
And then
is happening.
well,
so-
whatever. And then peaches. I love peach tree flowers. They're so beautiful, like the cherry trees and peach trees up in Georgia. But there's only one strand, I guess you could say, that lives well here, and it lives better up in St. Augustine. I mean, sorry, High Springs than it does in Gainesville. So it kind of all depends. Gainesville is 9A, zone 9A. So you really, in the long run, this is like all of Florida, you really want to see what the best flowering trees are for your zone. So if you're in Gainesville, 9A. Now, mahogany, yeah, mahogany wood is beautiful. I don't
Sure.
see it a lot around here.
No.
And I think of loquat the same way as the citrus and banana.
Yeah,
and
I feel like
peach
people don't know
trees.
what to do with loquats, so I see them
Ooh, I
all
eat
over the
'em.
ground. I know,
Yes.
but I feel like most people
The
don't know
squirrels
what to do.
love them.
Yes.
Yes, you do see them drop a lot, and I think you have to know the season to pick them. They are very tasty, but again, I see them more in like Tampa area than
I see
Gainesville.
them all over
I see all over
Gainesville.
Gainesville. Yes. We'll get back to that, Susan. Okay. Let's get back to that. Live oak. Everybody loves live oaks, but is that going to be
No.
a tree? No, that needs to be taken off of here. Maple.
Only if you're making
I
cabinets.
think maple trees are really pretty as long as they're built away from the house or are planted away from the house. And we're going to come back up to my least favorite tree. So maple trees.
Wait, you forgot crepe myrtle.
we're going to go down there.
Oh, okay.
So crepe myrtle. I think that's synonymous with like
I think
houses.
they're beautiful when they flower.
So my favorite ones are the really, really dark red, which are impossible to find because I cannot find that anywhere. I look all the time, but you don't see those, and they're like a really dark, beautiful
Yeah,
red.
I know what you're talking about.
Mostly, you're going to see the pinks and the whites, which I think are pretty. But what happens oftentimes is that they murder. They call it the crepe murder. And
It happens
even
every March.
And even landscaping companies go in and they just cut across. So we stopped allowing our landscaping company to do that. And now it's actually finally getting to be where it's a beautiful crepe myrtle. So do not murder your crepe myrtle. Otherwise, it just looks horrible.
It's a tongue twister. It's your Florida tongue twister of the week.
But, when I lived in High Springs, there was one section of the yard that no flowering tree would live. It would die every time except for a crepe myrtle. And you know where I got it from? Publix off of 39th was ripping out beautiful, perfectly flowering crepe myrtles. And I asked if I could put one in my car. And they're like, yeah, we're going to throw it away. Put it in the car, planted it there, and it was gorgeous. And it's still living there.
I love
So,
it.
yeah. All right, let's get to the nasty magnolia. No offense, magnolia. I think that's a really pretty word. I think it's a really, really pretty name. But I just think, yes, exactly, Allison. They don't know how to properly cut crepe myrtles, but magnolias. So we call them the trash trees, right?
They're cheap.
Yeah, they're cheap. They're super. And you know why they're cheap? Because they survive anything in Florida. They are the perfect,
And they grow
quintessential
fast.
Florida-friendly tree. But most builders, and we're going to say we work for builders that have done this or do this, their landscapers put them at the front. You always get like, what is a 30-gallon tree for like your front
think it's
little
like 15, but that thing turns
gallon
into 30
but
gallon
it
by
turns
closing.
into 30 gallon, and then it's over your house, over your roof. I think it's a bad idea. If you're going to have a magnolia, put it far enough away so it can grow really big and beautiful. But remember that when those huge flowers, the flowers are like the size of your head, when they drop and just cause trash all on the ground.
Yeah, they're like big waxy
And that's,
leaves.
I would say, kind of maple kind of does that too, but they don't have flowers in the same way of magnolia. So
yeah, Magnolia is my least favorite on that list too. Wait.
So yes, I think they
gotta
missed
bring
one
it up.
also. So the freaking bottle brush.
Weeping.
Yes, the weeping, any of them. I love any of
Yeah,
them. The
I love the
weeping ones are
weeping.
so pretty because they weep down. And that is a quintessential tree also for
They
Florida. They
grow
grow
fabulously
anywhere. Yes, they do so beautiful. And yeah, so we think that one was missed. Now, I did look up just to make sure. There's one
you used to have
that
one
I
like that.
love. And it is beautiful. You can see it all throughout Florida.
Please post a picture
There are
in the
these
comments.
gorgeous purplish, bluish flowers that shoot upwards or outwards. It's so pretty, especially when it gets really large. The first time I saw one was at one of our sellers' houses in Turkey Creek, and I died for it. And it's called the chase tree. Now, if it is blocking your security system, do not murder that either. Just trim around it so you can still see through your security system, or maybe move that because that tree is so beautiful and flowers all the time.
I have an important announcement. I was on the
Do
phone
not
when a murder
murder
was
that,
committed.
Susan.
Susan, I tried to vouch for you, but she twisted my arm and got it out of me.
Also,
Susan might have clipped back that tree a little too far to where it's like.
so I do
twigs.
feel like the bottle brush, the chased, and there were a couple others, camellias, which I guess aren't really trees.
They're not. They're more bushes.
They're
but
more
they're
bushes.
beautiful.
So I see those all around. I think they're really beautiful. And then a very southern tree. Hold on, I can't even remember.
I will say, if you have your favorite plants that you love to see in yards, please post them in the comments below. Sky, I better see some of those birds of paradise that you've been planting for like a week down in the pictures.
So crepe myrtles have very many different types and styles. Look at that deep, magnolia
Anyway.
tree. One other that I absolutely love because it only flowers in winter is the cassia tree, and it's yellow. And so, but it's very hard. Like it's very hard on itself because when it grows within everything, and so it can end up being really heavy. So you're constantly having to pick it back up. But those are really beautiful. So I think that when you have trees in your yard, if you can, in hail, it's a lot harder because there's already fighting against all the oaks and the pine. But when you can put them in, I always suggest buying ones that flower throughout the year, like different times of the year. So you always have flowering trees. So, yeah.
Anyways, there you go. Yes, they add value. Even though we disagree with some of these, they do add value in some ways.
And I mean, citrus, banana, loquat. You can talk about all of those.
We might have to push the next topic to next week unless you can do it quick.
Let's do it quick. Okay, Zillow, 5 cheapest. So we saw this in a TikTok, right?
Yes.
It was a TikTok, and we thought it was really fun. So I went on. I had a couple of things that I chose from it. So it has to be at least appear to be a move-in ready. It's not like a trash home. It had to be at least 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, and at least 1,200 square feet. Because a lot of the cheap ones that were coming up on TikTok were like just trash houses and cash only and like, really low. So
livable,
I think this is kind of telling of the top of the lowest 5 that I could find. Now there were a lot at 200, or not a lot, but there were a good number of them, but this was the best one. It was in Live Oak for 200,000. So that is the 5th most expensive or cheapest, cheapest in
most
economical.
Florida.
Most economical. So Live Oak is where you would have to live, and it's still 200,000. That's not that low,
Looks cute.
right? Yeah, it was very cute inside. Number 4 was Keystone Heights for $199. It was actually $199.9, and it had just reduced in price by 100 to get out of 200. So even though not as cute on the outside, it actually was really cute inside. All of these houses had like nice original wood floors. They were all older. This one has a metal roof, and I'm only showing the exterior pictures. So let's keep going. Number 3. Mayo, Florida, $179.9. So brick house, did not have a garage, but a nice ranch style brick house, 1,200 square feet or more. All right, number 2, Lake City, $169. There we go. This was a really cute little house on the inside. It was like duck pondy looking, if you know Gainesville. And then number 1 was Trenton at 167.5, another brick ranch house.
So basically you're living in North Central Florida.
Yes, that was my point. And you're over 150. So 150, but 167 to 500, and you can live in a nice little 3-2, 1,200 square feet or more. But you're definitely living in North Central Florida. Nothing came up in the Panhandle, because this is on Zillow. Nothing came up in South Florida. There were a couple in other areas like Tampa, Crystal River even, but they were 200 plus. So there you go. North Central Florida is where you got to be
if you want to be 200 or less. All right. Well, that concludes this week's podcast. So we'll get into the credits.
Yeah, there we go.
All right. So if you have a property that you're tired of managing, or you just feel overwhelmed by all the new rules and regulations, please feel free to reach out to K&R Property Management. We are serving North Central Florida, and we are happy to take care of procuring tenants, managing leases, collecting funds, and basically just paying you. So if you have any questions, give us a call at 352-213-6410.
All right. And if you're looking to get into real estate, or you are in real estate, want to join a team, or you're coming from another area or another brokerage and want to join a new one, give us a call or email us at join@buysellrebell.com. We're looking for all kinds.
And if you can't get enough of Rabell Realty Group, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Google My Business. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
All right. And did you know we have a blog? We do. And we're writing blogs all the time. So come visit us at buysellrebell.com/blog and see what we have to say today.
And we'd like to thank the Fiesta Media for putting on this podcast and all of the other, how many have we done? A lot.
93.
93 others. If you're thinking about getting your own podcast, please reach out to them at 352-327-5089.
Thank you. And join us next week. We'll be here again Monday at 2 at the Rabell Realty Podcast. If you've missed it, check us out at rebellpodcast.com. Thank you. See you next week.